Alright, we're gonna jump right into it because I want to play. Resume. Alright, where am I? Oh my goodness. Talia. I'm playing a game. Okay, we were gonna go back inside. So I remember I looked around out here last time. We're looking for where all eyes size you up.
The only person sizing me up here is that monumental Zeus. It can't be here.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
Wondering if you could help me out.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
Oh. Have you got any amber?
My good fellow, would you have any amber available?
I would, but unfortunately, I don't think I am authorized to give it out, sir. I believe it is a precious stone.
I'm gonna do it because I think that the amber is worth it.
No point in lying, you know. I know full well you haven't got any.
I would never think of lying, sir. I don't believe I am authorized to give it away. That is all.
Amber? Here? I'd be surprised.
Yet I assure you, sir,
No, you're pulling my leg. I don't believe you.
I wouldn't dare to joke with, sir.
Yeah, sure. You're just leading me on. I dare you to show it to me, if you really have some.
Well, then, sir, here is a piece.
Ah, right. Well, I'm impressed. Can you lend it to me for a minute?
Of course, sir.
You collected 4 amber fragments. Your maximum effort points is increased by 1. See, I told you it was worth it.
Here.
Wow, I can hardly believe it. Well, I have other questions.
Of course, sir. But, sir, I believe you haven't given me back the amber, sir.
What? What amber?
The piece I gave to sir.
No, I
What
don't know what
amber?
you're talking about. You really ought to look after your things.
There's no amber
It
here.
can't be easy to come across amber in these parts.
Ah, well, does sir desire anything else?
Manuscript.
What's that book you're hiding in your jacket?
The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, sir, and I am not hiding it.
Hand it to me, please.
It is damaged, sir. I would never dare lend sir a book in such a pitiful state, sir. I took it to restore.
Hang on, but it's mine.
Beg pardon, sir?
It's my book. I'm telling you, it's my book.
With all due respect, sir, I hope sir will understand that I have doubts. You see, I found it in Lord Mortimer's library.
Huh, there you
No,
are then.
definitely mine.
Exactly where I left it.
I am
For
quite
sure.
out, sir. I don't know what to say.
In that case, I suggest you say nothing and hand it over.
But
Now.
but sir, very well, sir. Here you are. May sir take
This
good care
poor
of it.
servant.
And you've damaged it as well? Well, bravo. Bravo.
No, I
I'm
didn't.
such a dick.
It wasn't me, sir.
Say pardon.
Pardon me, sir.
Very good. There were some other things I wanted to go over with you.
May I walk outside?
What is outside on the island exactly?
Lord Mortimer has made a point of keeping the main part of the island in its natural state, sir. For security reasons, only the wharves and the gardens are accessible to guests. If sir would like to walk along the wharves, he has only to follow the pathway used upon his arrival. If he would like to walk in the interior gardens of the manor, I would advise sir to pass through the portrait gallery. May I
Portrait
help, sir,
gallery.
in any other way?
Nope. this is... Is this the portrait gallery? I can't go in there. Is there like a map? There is a map. Holy crap. That's the small salon. That's the dining hall. Why does this one guy always wear a mask? All of the servants wear that mask, and I don't know why. But the servants are very vulnerable to manipulation. So, and exploiting that, since I'm pretty proficient in it, I usually don't have to spend points, and I actually get points back.
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
What the heck kind of expression is that? Oh, I can't go through there. God damn it. Why can't I just go wherever? Wherever I want to go. I don't know, maybe they're clones. Like, clone servants. Can't go up those stairs. Oops. Oh, cool. Back outside it is. Hey, Sinful. Ah, thank you for the biddies. Let's look. Whoa. We are high up. That is just a curtain. And more biddies, thank you!
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
No space left. Whoa! Holy crap! This library!
Atrus, the Miller brothers, were expressly forbade me from reading it.
Belle from Beauty and the Beast would be in heaven.
Pages out of an old encyclopedia.
What's this room? Oh, this is the portrait gallery, I think.
Where all eyes size you up. Chances are, that's the room my mother spoke of.
And she also spoke of a Medusa. Should I go and try to find the creature now? Liberty or Death by Regnault. Well, I'll take liberty, please.
But I do understand his choice, even though it seems radical. By angle. Molière dining with Louis XIV. The king's posture is surprising. It's almost as if he's addressing someone in the assembly.
Oh, that's just to sit. And look at this big thing. Oh, found a coin. I'm guessing that goes out to the gardens.
Celia. That name means nothing to me.
So we're looking for a Medusa.
Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is me. Amber crystals. Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Oh, found her. There she is. We can turn her.
I've got to find out what Mother was trying to do with her. The Medusa. A hero armed with a sword?
Oh, his dick is out. His dick is out too.
And the last one holding a shield. I'll stake my life on it. All the statues form a single scene together. The poor devils are about to face the beast. Let's give them a helping hand.
So I have to turn them a certain way.
A painting with no name.
I wonder if that's Lord Mortimer. Let me check on these tables and stuff real quick.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
The Origin of Myths, a reinterpretation of legendary creatures. Just what I need.
Oh, this will help me.
The text is in French on the left-hand page and in Latin on the right hand. Let's find a chapter on the
I'm
Medusa.
French. Read the page in French.
Hang on. This version is significantly different from the regular one.
What?
It recounts how men have always belittled women in society. Harpies, mermaids, the Chimera, the Hydra, the Gorgons. Ah, the section on the Medusa. While some of the heroes divert attention from the Gorgon, the hero with the sword brandishes his weapon, Medusa.
Okay, so the guy with the shield and the guy with the lantern are distracting her. So she would be looking not at the guy with the sword. So let's turn her.
In Greek mythology, anyone who looked into the eyes of the Medusa turned to stone. So
Yup.
the monster's statue must be turned towards someone who could protect their eyes.
The guy with the shield.
Only be the hero holding the shield.
Alright, rotate toward the hero holding the shield. And then he is going to be aiming his sword at Medusa. Shield guy Handle the mechanism. Well, that doesn't cost anything, maybe.
The mechanism is worn here. Whenever the shield is not turned toward the sword, the machinery freezes up. The statue must have been in this position most of the time, betrayed by the marks of time. So that makes it easy. The shield must face the sword.
Okay. Rotate toward the sword. And what about you, sir? Think about the configuration. We'll rotate him toward the one holding the shield. Because then the lantern would reflect off the shield, distracting Medusa. Yes.
Whoa.
Whoa. Holy
For
shit.
Pete's sake, Emily! You scared the pants off me. Don't ever do that again.
Well, keep your nose out of my business then.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop fooling around and tell me what you're doing here.
Answer her frankly, answer with a question, or dodge the question with humor. I mean, I'll answer her frankly, I
Discovered a
guess.
message from my mother. She explains how to find the secret room. Something must have attracted her here, so I've come to check it out. And you? What brings you here?
My, you're curious.
Let me guess.
Go on then, impress me.
I imagine she's looking for someone too, or she has to investigate Mortimer. I mean, she's been here enough. She should know Lord Mortimer by now. She's probably looking for someone too.
You're looking for somebody. Your silence speaks volumes. I must have got it right, and you will go to great lengths to find them. So, this person means a lot to you.
Well, no matter. I'll tolerate your presence this one time. Now, since you're here, make yourself useful. Look around on your side. I'll do the same on mine. And if you find anything of interest, let me know.
Oh, yeah. In your dreams.
At your service, madam.
Examine the symbols.
The heavenly symbols refer to Pandora's box. Emily, I'm pretty sure I've got Pandora's box.
Of course you have. You see an earthen pot and you immediately assume it can only be Pandora's box. Logical. What I like about you, Louis, is that you never fail to surprise me.
I mean,
Emily, what if I open the jar? Would that then make man responsible for all the evils?
Try. It'll make a change. All right, can we move on now?
I do love your irony, but honestly, are you ever impressed by anything you see?
By a chamber pot? No, you really do need to do better than that.
I mean, Pandora's box actually was an earthen pot. It was not a box. So, I mean, Louis could have been right. What's this?
A golden fleece.
It's freezing. Hurry up.
Do you think that can really be Jason's golden fleece?
No, you are aware that Jason and the Argonauts is a myth, aren't you?
But Mortimer's been protecting this hide. It must be of great value, don't you think?
Certainly of historical value. This kind of hide is still used by gold diggers in Eastern Europe. Now you see how easy it is to obtain a legend.
Why do you have to act so nonchalant every time I show you something?
Louis, anyone can kill a sheep, rip off its hide, and say it's the Golden Fleece.
We're at Lord Mortimer's, not at some farmyard fair. You're just too skeptical.
And you have a tendency to believe anything. Talk about an unlikely pair.
Yet, you know opposites attract, don't you?
Alright, what's this?
An unofficial gospel? More likely to find this kind of book at the Vatican.
Nothing special. The library at Buckingham has 3.
The Gospel according to
Analyze.
Judas, or How to Crucify Jesus as part of God's plan. You do realize that the contents of this book could undermine the very foundations of Christianity.
One more reason to leave it in the secret room of a lost manor on a private island.
Do you realize how important this book is?
Of course, but what I really want to know is how did it come into Mortimer's possession?
I was thinking the same thing about all the paintings and sculptures in the manor.
Hey, Ravencrow.
How did the English manage to get their hands on them?
When someone wants to attract the attention of the world's leading power, somehow the gifts just pour.
You wouldn't have gone to the Vatican recently, would you?
Are you calling me a thief?
Certainly not. No. Never entered my mind.
Coin.
Hey, Mortimer's the author of this work. It talks about his passion for art.
What is that?
Guess what I found?
The Holy Grail.
Older than that.
A piece of Noah's Ark.
Not that old.
This could go on for hours. Just tell me.
Caesar's laurel wreath.
Identify the object.
This crown is amazing. The finesse of the gold laurel leaves is beautiful. A crown worthy of an emperor. I'd stake my life that it's the genuine article. Do you know why laurel wreaths are used and not, say, mistletoe or another plant?
The laurel wreath symbolized glory in Roman times.
In your opinion, what kind would suit me best?
A crown of nettles.
Nettles. That's not very nice.
Oh, looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes, written by Mortimer himself.
Oh boy, what have we here?
You should see this sword, Emily. It's magnificent.
I'm busy. Describe it to me.
Assess the date.
A beautiful cruciform line.
Judging by the wear and the technique used to forge it, this sword dates back to the Crusades, and it must have belonged to a wealthy knight. There's a date. MCXC, 1190. That's right. Forged for the Crusades.
I have no idea. No.
Here's something interesting. A manor in Maine, hundreds of acres of land in Catalonia, properties in Shanghai. Incredible. Some of these deeds are over 600 years old, and all signed by the hand of Mortimer.
I wonder if that's what inspired my mother's attention.
Maybe.
How come all these documents have Mortimer's signature on them?
Do you think all these properties really belong to him?
Well, I mean, like,
See
analyze.
those fine scratches around the words?
Yes, and?
The ink barely spreads on the paper. It spreads exactly the same way on the signature. The deed was written using the same ink. If it is a fake, then it's
He's a
professional
vampire.
job.
Maybe. Assume there are several Mortimers.
Several people have played the part of Mortimer, a part that has been passed down from generation to generation. Different men, but with one sole identity.
An intriguing hypothesis, and yet less twisted than some of my previous cases.
At last, you finally agree with me about something.
These documents are intriguing, but do you really think that's what attracted your mother's attention here?
I don't know. She was obsessed with Mortimer, and I must confess, these property deeds are troubling.
If that's the case, why would she have left them?
Once again, I don't know. We'll have to ask her when we find her. And what's your take?
How has it all been acquired? Why conceal? How has it all been
How did
acquired?
Lord Mortimer get all this? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Secret connections, money, or a well-kept family treasure passed on from generation to generation. Who knows?
That would mean some of Mortimer's ancestors lived before Jesus was born. I wonder why my mother didn't make it clear what she was interested in here.
She didn't have time to write it down, or maybe she wasn't sure of what she was looking for.
Or she wanted to protect her discoveries. It's disturbing.
You'll just have to search the rest of the room. Maybe you'll find something.
What
What
this?
is that you found?
A cameo pendant. What's going on?
Nothing.
Crying out loud,
What's your
Emily,
deal?
You lunged for that jewel like your life depended on it. Tell me what this is about.
No. We
Yeah.
just met, Louis. I
Tell
love
me.
you, but I can't just suddenly open myself up like a book to you.
Listen, Emily. It seems pretty obvious to me that you haven't come here for the sole purpose of sampling Mortimer's cellar.
Stop all the clever evasions and just trust me.
And why the hell
Oh.
should I place my trust in you?
Confrontation. Because I trust you. Oh crap. I forgot what she is. She is vulnerable to psychology and immune to logic.
When are you going to understand that I just want to help you?
What do you expect? That I'll fall into your arms and say yes to everything you want?
What are you talking about? I'm only asking you to trust me a little.
If only on principle, as a member of the Golden Order, for example.
I'll admit you are fairly reliable.
That's it? I was expecting more.
Well, I'm prepared to trust you when it comes to choosing a French cheese. But I've nothing to gain by confiding in you any further than that.
Nothing to gain? Damn it, Emily! I'm only trying to help you. Stop needing to gain something all the time.
Because you think I need help?
Just like everyone, you have your strengths and your weaknesses. And there's no use pretending otherwise.
Ha! And I bet you found out where I'm weak, haven't you?
Weakness in psychology.
You think your scathing wit protects you, but in fact, it makes you blind. No sooner have people introduced themselves than you already see them in a bad light. You play the part of a strong woman, and yes, you are a strong woman, of course. But what I see is a sensitive young lady who lacks self-confidence. Stop adopting a defensive posture, and you'll see just how quickly new doors will open.
There is some truth to what you say. I might have some weaknesses, but I don't need your help to overcome them. And I'm simply not contemplating collaborating with anyone at this time. Do you understand?
She takes orders from someone. She likes to lead the investigation herself. She prefers to work alone. She already has a partner. That's who she's looking for.
Yes, it's perfectly clear. You're already working with someone.
Ah, well spotted, Louis. I already have a work partner. I know my weaknesses. I don't doubt that your abilities will be of use to me. But I already have all that, thanks to my teammate.
Is there any chance you might tell me who he is?
No, I've already said too much. Consider yourself lucky I've even given you this much. It's extremely rare, believe me.
Come on, don't stop now that you've come this far. You know that eventually I'll end up making you talk.
Well, since no one can resist you, let's see if you can guess who my partner is.
You're a gambler. So, your partner is...
Damn it. I'm a use. There's negative alterations, revealing blah blah blah. Next skill use is free. Number 4.
Your sister. She's your partner. She's the one you're looking for.
Well, I am impressed. How the devil did you guess I had a sister? Virtually no one even knows.
Aha!
When it comes to getting results, you are very good, I grant you that. You deserve to know why the sight of the cameo pendant affected me so strongly. I thought it belonged to Emma, my twin sister.
Oh. Now I get why you said you had a memory for two.
Yes, you can't imagine to what extent, though. As children, everyone got us mixed up. So one day we decided to play along. Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough, the woman with two faces.
Hi, Grammy.
But isn't it complicated? How do you make it work?
One of us has no existence in the outside
Love you
world.
too, gorgeous.
We share everything. First for one, then for the other. We dress the same, wear the same makeup, we speak the same. We've learned to act as one. When we accept a mission, we both turn up. This time, though, she went ahead, and I was meant to wait for her on the mainland. She was meant to meet Sir Home and bring back the details, so we could work out who would follow up.
And there was a problem?
She was supposed to return from Mortimer's 1 week ago. The boat turned up at Plymouth, but alas, no trace of my sister. Instead, a sailor passed me a message from home, notifying me of her sudden disappearance.
So, my mother and your sister go missing just a few days apart. That's strange. Maybe their disappearances are linked.
It's
Maybe.
clearly a possibility, but up to now I haven't found a trace of either of them.
None of this is very reassuring.
By the way, Louis, now that you are in on the secret, you are obliged to keep it to yourself, or you will pay very dearly.
Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me.
Yeah, it's an honor.
It's time to leave.
But this room is so cool. Okay.
So, what do you think of our first adventure?
I must admit, it has been fun by your side.
Same here.
Oh, she's been drinking too much again.
Louis, I need to talk to you right now.
Good evening, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Actually, this is not a good time.
I'm begging you, please don't leave me alone.
I'll be waiting for you in your room, but don't be late.
Motherfucker.
I was sure there was a certain je ne sais quoi between us.
Louis, we need to talk now. Otherwise, it'll be too late.
Looks like Elizabeth really needs me, but if I start talking to her, for sure Emily won't wait for me. What should I do?
I'm like 99% sure that Emily's sister's disappearance and my mother's disappearance are connected, and maybe in that vision that I had, it was Emma who was getting shot, not Emily. And Elizabeth just seems crazy. So I'm gonna
Excuse me,
follow
Elizabeth, but
Emily.
some very urgent business has cropped up. We can speak tomorrow.
No, Louis, don't leave me alone. They've come back.
Good night, madam.
Well, well, Louis, you took your sweet time. What did our poor Elizabeth
What the
want?
What is she
The real
doing
question
here?
would be this. What exactly are you doing, Emily, in my room?
I've enjoyed our discussions very much, and I had hoped that we could continue them.
Emily? Have I misunderstood something here? What are you doing in my room?
And for a while now, the question has been nagging at me.
And that explains why I now find you here in my bed. Go ahead. Ask me the question that's been burning at your lips.
I know your mother was here to meet someone, but I can't figure out who.
Oh, so that's what's been hiding behind all this.
We are both members of the Order, Louis. Let's try to be honest with each other. I have followed with great interest your affair in Paris, in connection with Mr. von Borchardt. You managed to steal something from him, if I'm not mistaken.
The book.
Are you talking about the Book of All Mysteries? Al-Azif?
That's right, Louis. A valuable bit of plunder, isn't it?
Yeah. When we finally found it, we took it.
And where is the book right now?
Amazingly, it's right here. Mother took it with her when she came.
This is quite fascinating. But just what did Sarah expect to accomplish here?
To meet von Borchert's buyer.
My mother came here to find out who von Burchard planned on selling the book to.
And did she find out?
I have no idea, but I think she thought it would be someone invited to Mortimer's next party.
You mean one of us here now?
That's what I think. It wouldn't be you, by any chance.
Unfortunately, no. I was planning to steal it myself. Thank you for all this information, Louis. Right, enough chatting. Come and join me instead.
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
Emily, don't take this the wrong way, but I really don't think this would be a good idea right now.
I see. You don't think it would do you some good to relax and clear your mind a bit?
That's a good point, but seriously, I'd rather we didn't.
I understand, Louis. I won't insist any further.
Thanks, Emily.
Ooh, I'm glad she wasn't mad. Oh God.
Lord Mortimer?
Monsieur de Richet.
Hi.
Last we meet.
Looks like Twitch is back to making accounts unfollow people. Oh, that's weird. I could have found out more about the past of Elizabeth and my mother. I could have spent the night with Emily. At least I didn't fail anything. Well, thank you for re-following, Grimmy. 4 skill points. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Oh, that was the end of episode 1? Okay. So, now I wonder what would have happened if we had gone with Elizabeth. Would she have been crazy? Guess we're starting episode 2.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Oh, I need to choose. I can do 2 this time. Got science. Oh, wait, one point in science, 1 in linguistics, 1 in erudition. Why wouldn't I do that? Holy crap. 1 point in etiquette, 1 point in logic, 1 point in etiquette, 1 point in psychology, 1 point in erudition. So I'll do another in erudition. Lord Mortimer's office. Ooh, pretty.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. However, there may be some new developments, but I don't know if they are linked to your mother. We have found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
afraid she was brutally murdered, stabbed several times.
Oh, God. So what would have happened if I had gone with her? Who did it?
Who could have done it?
That is precisely what I would like you to help us determine, Louis. Duchess Hillsborough informed us that she accompanied you at the beginning of the evening. You apparently bumped into Miss Adams, who wanted to speak to you. We are told you turned her away, and she went away on her own.
That's correct.
Do you know what she wanted to see you about, by any chance?
She seemed confused.
She seemed upset about something. I thought she was under the influence of alcohol, but we didn't really speak.
Pity. The poor child was probably trying to find help.
I thought it could wait until tomorrow.
Apparently not.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed.
Let him
I
finish.
must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Any details?
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi, so I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington
Hey,
left
Chanty.
the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified.
Oh
and they agree.
boy! I get to look through everyone's room? Yes!
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble.
BRB stealing your crap.
Probably nothing.
I am really enjoying this game, Grimmy. I got it on sale on Steam. It was like 10 something. Normally it's 30, I think. Anything
But
else?
if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Peru. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry.
I
He's on the
remember.
list of suspects.
Snoop around in here. Oh god.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Trait unlocked. Bookworm.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781.
I'll just take that right from in front of your face.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
ARSN. I don't know. Golden elixir is full.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form?
I can't go in there. Monsieur Volner's room.
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Oh god. Hey, what you doing?
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
Speak about Elizabeth's death.
Has anyone told you that Elizabeth was killed last night?
Yes. Rumors spread quickly.
Huh. He looks very put out.
It's horrible. How did it happen?
I can say nothing to you, sir. You'd better follow your host's instructions and stay in your quarters.
I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Okay. What were you looking for, huh? Oh, can I open that box now? Alright, let's go in here. Oh god, she's still in here. Okay. Oh god, hi.
Has Sir finished with this room?
No.
I haven't gone over everything yet.
Sir may take his time. When Sir would like to leave, Sir has only to tell me.
Sir thanks you.
Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you of some unfortunate news. We won't be
I already read this one. That was from her dad.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
That's a golden elixir. Oh dear.
over a bottle of wine.
Analyze the
I
smell.
know that smell. It's laudanum. It must have been mixed with the wine directly in the bottle.
Laudanum. The handle.
Part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand. The blade is short and thin. Well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still fresh. Poor girl bled to death. Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe.
So, a small, slender hand held the knife, and then someone with big feet, who probably did not have small, slender hands, walked through the blood. Examine the upper body.
I count
She was stabbed.
9 wounds on the thorax with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
Examine the wounds.
The wounds are clean and look like they've been inflicted by a sharp object. Some of the lacerations have damaged vital organs, the heart, the right lung, which is perforated. Most of them weren't given with much force. She might even have survived. But the stab in the heart, though not all that deep, sealed her fate.
Tattoos.
Tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin.
Ew.
During childhood, if the scars are anything to go by, it's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
I should have gone with her. But, like... What if, like... I don't know. Maybe she wouldn't have died. Or maybe she would have and I would be blamed for it.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations.
Mouth.
What a strange smell.
I know that smell. Yeah, I'll definitely do a second playthrough of this.
Breath. Smells of alcohol and of laudanum. people use it to relieve pain. Laudanum. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk. If taken in large quantities, it can provoke fits of madness.
Cool.
She bled from the nose. There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising. There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
The
There's
arms.
marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars. People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control. Scars are superficial and were made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life.
Tattoos.
She had the Sigillum de Ameth tattooed on her, the symbol of the living God, written in the language of angels, according to believers. It is rare for someone to know about symbols like this at her age, unless her mother was a tutor. Symbol of Masons? What's that doing here?
Masons? Why? I can't translate the texts. Hands.
Wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
Symbols.
Pinnacle's a trap. The wearers of the pinnacle thought that they were protected from evil by surrounding it inside the different circles of the pinnacle.
Legs.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs. More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body. Let's see. No trace of sexual assault or rape.
Well, that's good. What's this?
Clock stopped at 3:54.
Oh, it's broken.
If it smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime. Vials of laudanum.
So much laudanum.
Large quantities could knock out a bull. Could Elizabeth have been drugged? If the body wounds are anything to go by, then clearly not. She put up a fierce fight. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Yeah, there's something on the wall.
Blood spatter indicates that the murder must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
The height of that, it's like, I don't know, she's not very tall, so like they probably like held her up there by her throat or something.
Huh. The talisman that I gave back to Elizabeth. I can't exactly say it brought her good luck. Pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? Contrary to what most people believe, A pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil. Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
Well, it's cool that I know her vulnerability now, but she's dead.
Notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out. It's medieval Latin, well enough to translate a bit. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry. What tortured writing.
So she thought that our mom was, like, death itself?
August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I'm driven to despair and doubt there is any point in writing to you. I'm not even sure you'll receive my letters. Father controls my correspondence more and more. I am certain he filters our exchanges. Thankfully, one of the chambermaids is able to help me get my letters to you. But they still remain unanswered. I often think about you and pray every day to be able to hold you tight. We have so much time to make up. I beg you, answer me, please. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. That horrible woman came again yesterday. She spent a long time speaking with Father. I didn't understand everything because they spoke in French, but I'm sure they were talking about you.
He has pretty eyes. He does. They spent a lot of time on, like, the clothing and the eyes. I don't know. The shape of his face, though, I don't really like.
June 11th.
I think
My dear Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, I already read that one. The last time I was in here. What's this?
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light. A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France.
Oh, really?
There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded and well, there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Right. I shall have to find its owner.
It's probably that Peru guy. Okay, anything over here?
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. It's a travel dress. The silk has been lightly waxed to protect it from bad weather. And I know the very woman who came up with the idea, given all the traveling she does. My mother. God help us. Why did she come here in the first place? The material appears to have undergone abnormal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside, and that doesn't look good.
Alright, can I go out the door? No. I think I've looked at everything in here.
Has finished with this room?
Who made such a mess of this room?
You know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was. so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
Yes. I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Every time I see a box, I'm like, can I open it? Washington's room. It's the looter in us, I know. Oh, and full on golden elixirs. Sure has given me a lot of them, though.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young.
Alright, Gran. Thanks for hanging out.
I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you. Your friend.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
I can't decipher it because I don't know politics.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. Portrait of George Washington.
That's funny. He has his own portrait hanging in his bedroom.
Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better.
Let's see if there's any books to grab. Yep.
Map of Vermont.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Had he spoken to her?
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered.
Laudanum.
Are you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
She said that same person came back, which is the one you stood up to before. Oh, that, Jacques Peroux. And I found the pistol, which probably belonged to him. Do you know why?
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines.
Does he know why she was
Do you know
here?
why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her.
Yes, Lord Mortimer has a talent for healing, apparently. I'm not surprised Sir Gregory advised her to come.
Agreed.
Did she have any enemies?
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Perry, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened. And I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
I intend to.
Man or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured, it looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
Oh yeah, it's true. He just wears dress shoes. But that other guy, that big dude, he wears boots. That door apparently leads nowhere. I can't look in there. Oh, that's my room. I didn't do it. I can tell you that for sure.
The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Oh, Napoleon is immune to politics. I guess that makes sense considering who he is.
The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur.
It's a beautiful weapon. A Levi Damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Immunity to conviction.
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us soon. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte.
Bicorn
The
decorated
hat!
blade. It must belong to a French soldier.
I can't search it because I don't have vigilance. That's poopy. Amber.
Amber crystals. French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesar dynasty.
There's just one one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
The pistol is missing. We may have found it.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon. Lord William Mortimer.
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer, two great army chiefs.
Coin. Alright, time to talk to him. So no politics, no conviction.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Okay, so his pistol is right there. Cool.
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
With who?
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did anyone leave early?
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you.
Anything happen out of the ordinary?
Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight. So I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Did you recognize the Prowler?
Able to recognize the Prowler?
Unfortunately not, no. It was dark, and Lord Mortimer was waiting for me. I was not really paying attention anyway.
Not a single detail.
Excuse me for insisting, but if you saw him or her, I'm sure you would have more information than that. It's just that you don't think it can be of help to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Was it a woman, for instance? Bearing in mind that all the women here wear whalebone dresses, which is rather noticeable.
A man, I should say. I don't recall seeing the silhouette of a dress.
You see, you saw many things, in fact.
Hang on. Laissez-moi réfléchir. Let me think a minute.
A wig? His height? The sound of his footsteps, maybe.
Ah, his height. Oui, somewhat imposing. A tall man, and straight. As for the rest, I don't know, Monsieur de Richet.
Not to worry. That's already quite a lot. Thank you for everything.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Okay. Napoleon is kind of short, like short height-wise, so his feet wouldn't be big enough to fit the footprints that walked through the blood. Oh God.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
Okay. He doesn't look well. That's very true. Mystic, that's a good point.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
He is vulnerable to psychology.
Culprit. What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look through your shit. Hey, Veriflex.
4 circles. Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself will never thank you enough. Long live the Republic. Long live France. Sister Maria.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Dear Monsieur Peru,
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Oh, no, I can't walk through there, even though it looks like I can. What do we got here?
Massacre of the Innocents, but by Van Harlem. I think that Mortimer likes to play mind games with his guests.
Massacre of the Innocents. And he's a judge who, like, sentences people to death. And oh my, look at those feet.
Nice decor for a revolutionary tribunal judge's room.
Mm-hmm.
The Massacre of the Innocents by Rubens. A bit gloomy. Guess my room is not that bad.
Great, honey.
Is there a book over here? Nope. Oh, what's this in the fireplace? I see you trying to get rid of stuff. Journal of Paris. Oh, it's a newspaper. I don't know if we shall meet again. At this point in time, I am a prisoner, snared by my own decisions. You must be protected. My future is lost without you. You can still be saved. No matter how much bitterness you hold against me, you must know that I made a pact with the devil, who I thought I could master. I thought I knew the monsters, but what I did for France is nothing compared to what they are capable of doing. Now I can't see any way out. The jaws are closing upon me. I love you now and forever.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris.
It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it.
This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Yeah, I already knew he was vulnerable to psychology.
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting for you and other guests, so you can meet up with me on my island as quickly as possible. I await your arrival. Lord William Mortimer.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Do you enjoy hitting women?
You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself. I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene. Congratulations. You've wrapped up the investigation. All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. Let's get right to it. Are you...
Oh, you just encountered an immunity. One effort point is locked.
Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
Two days ago, I surprised you having a go at Miss Adams. What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away. You think you're Investigator of the Year. Have you taken a look at yourself, Deriche?
Hey, Kels.
Black and blue the last time?
I did not!
Go on. Keep going.
Finish what you came to do, then get out of my room.
Found your letter.
I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
Okay. Well, I have to... golden elixir number 2. That was a good talk. He's horrible looking. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to think that he's the murderer. but then, like, it's too obvious. Oh, what's this? Oh, no. I am full on Devil's Thorn.
The alchemist is a young man. A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart. If I'm not mistaken, Paracelsus named the element called zinc.
Let's see. C. Mysterious notes. Oh, guys, don't fight on my desk, please.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth. But
whoa,
that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult. The signs of obscurantism.
I'm gonna have so many books to choose from in the next chapter. How many of these coins do I have? Seven.
Fragment of amber.
Oh boy.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly. Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth.
Liar, liar.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure. It has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now.
Oh, do I have any info on him? Oh god, where is he? Immunity to occultism. Was your relationship over? What was the nature of your relationship? Did you love her? How long did your relationship last?
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's only been a few weeks.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
You loved her, didn't you?
That is none of your damn business.
Your feelings betray you, sir.
So what? Yes, I loved her, like a moth loves the flame of a candle. That's why we could never be together.
Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is
Yeah,
true.
and she's dead.
Tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
That was her room. I already looked there. I guess we'll go upstairs and talk to Lord Mortimer again. Oh god. Cannot go downstairs. That seems dangerous, to just have like a giant gaping hole in the middle of the floor.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
I have clues, but I prefer not to accuse anyone.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
She's in hiding.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
The cat.
Knowing my mother, she would be the cat.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
Did my mother sell arms?
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having the support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Yeah.
She was looking for someone.
What do you mean?
In Paris, we were working on a smuggling case to do with occult objects. We had just arrested a dealer who intended to go to you to meet a buyer. My mother was here to find out to whom he intended to sell his stolen treasure.
Oh. What was the name of your dealer?
Von Borchert.
The dealer was called von Burchard. As for the buyer, he was unknown to us.
No, I don't know anything about that. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Maybe she's wary of someone. She might have discovered something. Maybe she's lost her mind.
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
What did you speak about?
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, Louis. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third.
My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
The famous papal bull of Pope Gregory VIII.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
To the box room.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Box room, I guess that means like a storage room.
Mortimer's study.
Go to the tower room. I can't go upstairs. Are there other stairs I can take? Oh, that was just a reflection. I thought it was something for me to pick up. So I cannot take those stairs. I just went in a big circle. Maybe I'll see if I can take the other stairs down. These stairs. No. What about these stairs? No. Which way do I go? Oh, hey, a coin. Is it this room? Yes, it is. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool. Another coin. There's royal jelly.
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there. Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. A fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best-known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Oh, it's locked.
The door appears to be locked on the other side.
Open it.
I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
I will just pick the lock.
Open sesame. It's open. painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword.
Oh yeah, he has a sword.
There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Oh god, I'm intoxicated. You've used 4 consumable items during a single quest or consumed a noxious element. Dialogue timer is no longer visible. Use a golden elixir to cure yourself. There.
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Oh dear. That is, Oh, I got an amber fragment. He does not have a sword.
The New Testament.
The Epistles of Paul. Epistle to the Romans. 11:11.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Oh wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply. Hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
He doesn't have a beard.
St. John is the only apostle
Yeah, John.
in this gallery who hasn't got a beard.
John was the youngest, right?
Wait. That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer. It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni. The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. What was it my mother said? That she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle. Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle, that was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
Okay. What's this? Oh, book.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
I forget what Devil's Thorn does. It temporarily reveals the immunities and vulnerabilities affecting a dialogue choice. Oh, okay. Revelation according to John. Add. What was it?
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Here's the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
By he who hears the angel.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Behind the painting?
Cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Chest of drawers?
Characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Why in Hebrew?
Choosing the Hebrew alphabet is no coincidence. It's got to be a reference to the Bible. There's nothing worth noticing here.
Talia, come on, you can't be right in front of my monitor, you know that. Come on.
No, nothing of value here. There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
Okay, so... Oh god. That was... Paul? Epistle to the Hebrews. We'll try chapter 2, verse 8.
Put all things under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him. But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message.
Found it.
There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Is this also Paul?
The drawing of the Apostle Matthew.
That's Matthew.
Painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? Group of pilgrims. If I'm not mistaken, numbered respectively 12 and 14 in the last painting. With the simple operation suggested, that would mean that the new groups are 6 and 7.
So... Back. Gospel according to St. Matthew. No.
This volume dates from the first edition of Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed.
Oh, snap.
It's covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible.
Oh wait, chapter 6 verse 7.
Now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Okay, so now we're looking for... Which one are you?
St. Paul painted by
That's St. Paul. Malachi, I swear to God, stop. Stop. Stop chewing on my things. I think I did these out of order.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Oh, God. Yeah, I did that out of order, actually. Okay. So, we are on... When Paul understood that only the acts counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Paul. Which one is this?
Mark.
That's Mark.
Collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
So, St. Paul, that's Matthew.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Two representations of the same
Paul is
saint.
the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
I examine the painting.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it.
Hello, man killing.
thin layer of dust.
Thank you for the follow.
The number 4.
Okay, Acts of the Apostles. The dark side does have cookies.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Oh, not that one.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here.
Found it.
A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare.
The nightmare?
He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that?
It's probably allegorical.
I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
I did not understand my mother's message. Oops. I got 4 points. We can do... I can equip 3 manuscripts. That gives a point in diversion, politics, questioning, erudition, questioning, etiquette, logic, etiquette. Let's do 1 in there. Logic. And politics. This is called the Council.
This time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
Oh, not these stairs. Not these stairs. PC, yes. I got it on Steam. It was on sale for like 10 something.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
They do look very good for $10. What is she? She is vulnerable to psychology, immune to logic, and that's all that I know about her. Speak about the messages.
They kept up a secret correspondence, which makes me think they were suspicious of someone.
And did you find out who it was?
No, but von Volner is mentioned. They were planning to make a quick getaway and were looking to hide something beforehand.
Have you got these messages?
Yes.
You're late? For a very important date?
I see. I must say, thanks for your honesty, Louis.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
I mean... It got posted while I was out to dinner. I guess I'll tell her.
Emily, there's something else.
Go on then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It
Oh.
seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
Oh my god. How did she find out, though?
How did you find out?
Sir Gregory told me on my arrival.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see. Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And what has Mr. Peru done to once again provoke someone's anger?
We don't really know just yet.
I get the feeling it won't be long before it gets out.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if...
Gracious.
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be
Hi, Dad.
surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous. Bastard. He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for 1 vote. Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Think of the consequences for the order. Calm things down.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too. Of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
God.
heard about your mother's disappearance.
Yeah?
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Von Volner. Immune to occultism.
To hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem, yes. We were even planning to work together.
That's what he was getting at.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
No. Prompt him to talk about it.
Absolutely, but I was hoping that you could tell me more about it.
Well, she was planning to sell me a very old book. I will make
Oh, it
no
actually
secret of
worked.
the fact that I am passionate about the subject. And when Sarah spoke to me about it, her account literally had me enthralled. I can think of nothing else since. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
He looks obsessed. Make him talk about what he's looking for.
As my mother's got so many old books, I'm afraid I won't be able to...
Oh, it's easy. You can't mistake this one. It's an ancient grimoire, composed of 7 parts. Each one is closed under lock and key. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. If you find it, you mustn't tamper with it. You see?
That's unusual. Unfortunately, that doesn't ring a bell. I'll look again, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime. What can I say? Every time I move closer to it, It seems to slip away at the last minute. I was very surprised to learn that your mother had it in her possession. I thought it was with a certain von Borchardt in Paris. Do you know him?
Indeed. One of your close friends?
No, not really, but we were close once. Precisely over the case that concerns us now, because he claimed to have the book I'm looking for.
Another dishonest person. What can you say? Can't trust anyone these days, huh?
No. No, you can't.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Volner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Volner. You're the one who von Borchardt was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
The King of Prussia? Mortimer or Holm?
Your dear king, I should think.
What? You mean Frederick William? Oh, my poor fellow. You are miles away. That stupid, pretentious puppet wields no real power. But seeing as you do not wish to be serious, so be it. Good luck to you.
So he's either working for Mortimer or Holm. But at least I found out that he was the buyer. Oh, I can't go into the library.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Ask him his opinion of Godoy.
Think of Duke Godoy.
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Tell me more, tell me more.
This gentleman enjoys people.
Like, does he
talking
have a
about him
car?
For too many reasons. His undeserved titles. More than 10 in just 4 years. And each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case. The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view. Does expression go beyond the nightmare mean anything to you at all?
Well, metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
No.
That's surely not what I'm looking for.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Can I go to the library now? No. Oh, a coin.
Hey, a Russian ruble. I wonder what it'd be worth today. Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You've caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Okay.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
What do you mean?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but... Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend. Regarding your question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
I need to look for Emily. There she is. Well, that's her room. There she is.
What do you want, Louis?
I have a question that might seem a bit strange, but...
Go on.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that mean anything to you?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
Figurative sense, I guess.
In the figurative sense, probably. I'm trying to understand what it refers to.
Well, if I come up with anything, I'll let you know.
What do you think of our last guest?
Well, I never thought I would get the chance to meet that Hispanic Casanova in the flesh. His reputation is well known. The gentleman collects lovers, including, would you believe it, the Queen of Spain.
Ooh.
I doubt that Lord Mortimer invited him for his charm, if you want my opinion.
You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do. Thank you again, madam.
I'm hoping to talk to this new guy before the conference or whatever. Von Volner.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Woo. Fix that. Night, Dad. Can I go through this door? No.
A Byzant from the Byzantine Empire. A coin often used during the St. Louis era.
Oh, here's the portrait gallery.
The Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. Brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Oh, here's the library.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Well, she's not around. You can read it now.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Don't insist.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son.
Yeah, it is.
Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
How is he with manipulation? Yeah, gee. Vulnerable to manipulation. Wonderful.
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her. In the background, a horse. I don't know if it will be of any help, but
yeah. Actually, that's a
know.
huge help.
Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence. I gotta go and see it just in case, though.
There is actually a painting called The Nightmare.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Yeah, you go back to looking at that pig painting. Go to Mortimer's study.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare? Let's take a closer look.
Examine the
Judging
chocolates.
by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas, the rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it, not to be given to animals.
Okay. Man. Definitely don't want to give it to the bird then. counts. Stone, Corinthian marble, wood, stained glass, master paintings. Come on. Oh gosh. Remember to reduce wood consumption next year. Dear Mr. Guido Poletti, I'm writing with regard to the dates of the paintings that I sent you for your temporary exhibition. Please note that they are part of my private collection and are dated according to the Freemasons calendar, AL, in use at the time. As you may well have guessed, you must remember to subtract 4,000 years if you don't want the public to be surprised at the dating of the works. No need to remind you that the Freemason year begins in March, not January. About the Longinus painting, I took the liberty to have the spear touched up so it better corresponds to the actual spear. Longinus. Sorry. I cannot urge you strongly enough to do the same for yours. Yours sincerely, Lord William Alexander Mortimer, Marquis of Westfordshire.
Now, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it. It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Okay.
The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond.
Well, there's probably a secret door behind it.
On rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere. That's what you generally feed birds.
Okay. Is the bird gonna help me?
Might come in handy. A myna bird. Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting. Sarah de Riche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah? God, what's been happening here?
What the hell? Okay. Oh my god. Someone made a mod for Resident Evil 2 that switches out Mr. X for Pennywise. And I am actually gonna cut it here. I know you guys are probably excited to go beyond the nightmare with me, but I've been at this for like 3 hours. So, I'm hungry and I need to pee. And we are going to raid Magical Tech. He is playing The Room 2, which is also a puzzle game. So how about that? Thank you everybody so much for coming and hanging out with me. Thank you Sinful for the biddies. And Grim for refollowing me because somehow you unfollowed. I don't know. This will be the last night for me. I won't have internet for a week or so. Aw, dang it. That sucks. Well, I will be sure to tell you what happened, Mystic. Alright, here we go.